welcome to Go Southern Alberta. I'm Christy Pick, and today we are in Echodale Regional Park for a very exciting event. It's coming up June 13th. It is the Colour Run, and it's all in support of Canadian Humanitarian. Later in the show, we're going to talk to Lyndon, who's the Executive Director, to find out what they do, but also what's going on at this major event. Stay tuned right here on Shaw TV.
More than happy to go through the program with them, give them as much instruction as they needed until they were comfortable with it, and then they can be the facilitator of the program in their own facility, which would be great.
When we find this bird on the prairie landscape, we know it's healthy because even this small bird needs a large expanse of relatively undisturbed, lightly grazed native prairie.
Well, you may be very familiar with the Rattler Run, Tough Mudder, or Conquer the Coulee, but today we're talking all about a brand new run. It's here in Medicine Hat. I'm joined by Lyndon. He's with Canadian Humanitarian. And Lyndon, you guys have a really exciting event coming to Echodale, just around the corner, to raise awareness for what you do, but also some fun. So tell me about it.
Well, we wanted to bring the concept of the Colour Run to Medicine Hat. A lot of people that we know, my family included, we went to the big centers and did it. And so we said, hey, there's a lot of great people here and a lot of excitement, and we didn't want to compete with what they were doing. And so, hey, bring it here. And the venue, we thought we could add some color to Echodale. When we were thinking about it, it was winter, so there wasn't even any green here. But we thought, let's bring the community together and have lots of fun right here in Medicine Hat.
What a great venue. I don't think that Echodale is used really enough for events like this, and it's really quite simple. The path is laid out quite simply. Yeah,
we didn't have to do anything. My wife and I came down, and we actually brought our new Pomeranian, and he had his first off-leash experience out here. And we didn't have to do anything. We just came along the path. We marked it out. It was, pretty close to the 5K, which is the typical family, fun run walk, and we just put some pins on the map and started planning.
All right. So walk me through a bit of the day, because a lot of people are familiar with a Colour Run. Some people might not be. So what exactly would they be experiencing?
Well, we're gonna start. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a parking lot over by the lake there. Once the registration, you get your T-shirts, you get your little color packets. There might be a little bit of color flying even before it starts, and then we just go ahead in small groups, and then there'll be color stations throughout the run. And as you run through the color station, we'll have volunteers just throwing the color powder, which is actually just dyed cornstarch. It's pretty safe stuff, and then you get all pink, and then you'll get all blue as you go through the other ones, and by the end you'll be very colorful. There'll be water stations throughout, and so if it is a nice hot day like it was this morning, it'd be nice if it was like this on the day of, but if it's hot, we have color, and there are washrooms around, and so it's just to come out, have fun with the family, and be outside.
It's a big concept in some of the larger centers, Calgary, Edmonton, that sort of thing. New here in Medicine Hat, and I know that you and I were talking off camera that you want to get this into some of the smaller centers because the fundraising scheme of things, the landscape has changed in the last little while. Tell me about that.
Well, we've had to, as a small charity, we've definitely had to look at the economic situation, especially here in Alberta, as people are a little unsure with gas prices and oil prices, but also the changes in the political landscape is what's going to happen in the future. And so when that happens, then people tend to be a little hesitant in donating money. And so we want to not necessarily change that. We want to encourage that we still need fundraising, and this will bring people out, and for the small registration fee, which goes towards the programming of what we're doing in Ethiopia, but it also it allows people to give back, and that's kind of what we want to encourage. Have lots of fun, but you're also giving back at the same time.
I think Medicine Hat is great at giving back. So Lyndon, tell me, when is it taking place, what time, and how do people get more information?
It's on June the 13th, so we're only a couple of weeks away. We're going to start probably about 10 in registrations, probably about 10:30 or 11 we'll get started with the actual run. There's a couple of ways you can do it. You can do it right online. There's a Hues for Humanity website. There's the Canadian Humanitarian website it's all got links. We're on Facebook. You can call our office at 403-527-2741. we're right downtown, and so if you wanted to come into the office and say hi, you can also do that. We're right on the corner of 3rd Street and South Railway. So there's lots of ways to get information for it. But yeah, once you're registered, then you just show up the day of and you're ready to go.
Fantastic. You get to be bright like this. We like the bright colors in Medicine Hat in summer. Right. All right, well, we're going to keep Lyndon around. Later on in the show, I want to hear more about Canadian Humanitarian, what you guys are doing. It's a really cool grassroots story started right here in Medicine Hat. So stay tuned right here on Shaw TV.
My heart is full of sound.
Well, welcome back to the show. Again, we are in Echodale Regional Park. I am joined by Lyndon. He is with Canadian Humanitarian. And Lyndon, we were talking earlier in the show about the Color Run coming up June 13th. Yep. Now I want to hear more about Canadian Humanitarian and what the organization is. Tell me about that.
Well, Canadian Humanitarian wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the Northcott family. Dr. Northcott is an emergency room physician here in Medicine Hat, and they, in the early 90s, they had 5 of their own children, and an opportunity came up and a need that there was adoptions in Ethiopia, and they decided to adopt 2 more children. In doing that, they realized there's so much more that can be done in country, and not just adopt kids out to give them the future that we have here. And so over the years, they had done many projects in Ethiopia, and it got to a point in 2003 that we needed to have our own organization. And so in 2003, we incorporated as Canadian Humanitarian for International Relief. And so now we have just over 500 kids. It's about 10 centers, and the concept is that they go to school in their own schools in their community. We pay their tuition and all their expenses so they can stay in school, because these kids are the poorest of the poor. We consult with the local government there to find candidates to be in the program. And then when they are out of school, either weekends or on evenings, they come to our centers. And so there we provide them with a meal, tutors, clubs if they want to be in the soccer club or the dance club or the art club. We also provide them with health care and dental and that type of thing so that they can grow up and they can be happy, healthy, they can realize their dreams. We give them the education, the opportunities, and then they become successful individuals and they make the changes in Ethiopia that they need. We can't suggest, from North America how to solve the problems of Ethiopia or in Africa, but we want to educate the next generation so they can do that. They can fix it from within.
How can people from Canada, how can people from Medicine Hat get involved with this? How can they help make a difference with the organization?
There's actually an infinite number of ways. Running in the Color Run is one way that your donation not only helps us with our programming, but as you share out the pictures and you talk to your friends and neighbors, they're like, oh, who's Canadian Humanitarian? Other people will sponsor children. And so they get updates a couple times a year of how the child is doing and pictures. Another way is actually people travel with us to go to Ethiopia and the projects that we have over there. And those are really popular. It doesn't fit with everyone, of course, to take a couple of weeks off and travel to Ethiopia. But the experiences are amazing. I went last year in February, and it was the first time I've ever been to Africa. And it completely opens your eyes.
For any youth that know Andrew Allen, we've had him on the channel a few times when he's come through. He's a Canadian musician living down in the States. You guys just did an expedition with him, and he's coming back because he wants to continue partnering with you guys.
He's been a huge success for us because he actually joined up with Canadian Humanitarian in Medicine Hat. He did a concert and his accommodations fell through for him and his band, and someone called up the Northcotts and said, hey, can they stay at your house tonight? It's like 3 o'clock in the morning at this time. And they're like, sure. He's an emergency room physician, so he's, up and,
up and at 'em.
Yeah, all times of day and night. And so, yeah, the whole band stayed there and got to know the Northcotts. And then I think the next time they came through, they stayed with the Northcotts, who were doing renovations in their home. And so the band helped out. They laid some carpet and they took out some stuff. So he's had a great time with the Northcotts. And so he's like, I want to be involved with what you guys are doing. And so the last year and a half, we've been organizing and planning for him to be there. What he really wanted to do is get his fan base involved. And so we actually had a contest. And people submitted videos of doing community work. And then 2 people won a trip with him. And they just went in March and April. And it was one of the best expeditions we've ever had. It was so much fun. I couldn't go. I wish I could have been there. And so he got back and had just rave reviews. Everyone loved what he did, and he's actually wrote a song for us, and he recorded some of the tracks with the kids there. So we're really excited about him coming out with that. And so we're planning our November event here in Medicine Hat again, and it was like, well, you know, who should we have? And Deb Northcott, who's a co-founder, a wife of Dr. Northcott, she's like, well, why don't we ask Andrew Allen? And so she called him up at the meeting, and he was like, yeah, I'm totally on board. So hung up the phone 30 seconds later, and we're like, check that off the list. He's coming to Medicine Hat. And so I told my daughter, she's 13, and she's like, so can I meet him? I said, I'll bring him to the house if you want. So cool. He's just so personal. Anyone can just walk up and talk to him. He's just a great guy. His wife is awesome. Julia, you know, she puts up with a lot as he's gone all the time, but she's such a great support. And yeah, we just love him, especially here in Medicine Hat. He's got such a great history here in Medicine Hat. And so we're excited to have him back.
Fantastic. Lyndon, I really appreciate your time today.
Thanks for having me. It's been great.
Absolutely. Once again, it is Canadian Humanitarian. Color Run's coming up June 13th right here in Echodale. If you want some more information, you can check them out online. Stay tuned. We have a little more here on Shaw TV. Well, one last time, we are down here at Echodale Regional Park talking all about that Color Run. It's coming up on June 13th, happening right here down by the boat launch. It's all in support of Canadian Humanitarian. Hey, if you want some more information about anything that they're doing with that organization, more information about the Color Run or their expeditions, you can find them on their website. You can also go online and find out anything we're doing on Shaw TV. We're on Facebook, Shaw TV Medicine Hat, or on Twitter at shawtv. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time right here on Go. Sorry, can you say that over again? I'm going to go keep checking out the scope. Well, I'm just going around Ecuador.